Alrighty, so 'tis the season to be jolly, and I'm on a 6-week break from UFC as there's no UFC card, so I'm going to be posting a little bit more variety on the channel as well as UFC content. I post anything I'm passionate about, so if you feel like sticking around, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell to stay tuned for any future videos. Now, with that being said, we are coming to the end of 2025, and there's something I'm very passionate about. And if you can't tell from the background, I buy Lego, alright? Some high testosterone activity, okay. I think we all agree. Owning Lego sets increases your aura significantly, okay. Increases that testosterone level. There's no better drug than owning Lego sets to increase your testosterone level. With that being said, 2025 has had some interesting Lego sets that I've kind of all put together here, and I'm going to be putting them on a ranking of a should you buy in 2025. Because these sets, I don't think any of them are retiring at the end of 2025 because they all release in 2025. I might be missing a set. It might be like a 4+ set. I didn't see it in the January wave, so I just didn't add it here. So yeah, I might be missing that. Other than a 4+ set, I don't think I'm missing anything else. Yeah, this is Lego Star Wars, of course. I've got a lot of sets this year to increase my Lego collection. A lot of these I don't. I've got a fair amount of these, I think. I've got a few of these, but I'll probably be buying a lot more down the road. Yeah, I collect because I'm a play guy, so let's get that out of the way. I'm not collecting here for investing. This isn't about fucking flipping a Lego set. This is about passion for the hobby here, I guess we'll say. But yeah, so this is going to be my tier list here. And let's get into the rankings. Let me just explain the tiers. We have set of the year, aka the best set of 2025 in my personal opinion. We have great buy, so it's probably okay to buy it full price, but probably wait for a sale these days. Okay, inflation's getting up there. Worth a buy, probably worth buying if you're just like a play guy, maybe, if you're a mock builder, something like that, maybe you like the buildables, something like that, maybe something a little bit more niche might be in the worth a buy. On sale, typically for any set, that's probably too overpriced, or it's just not really worth it unless it's on sale and like you've got the money to spare and you already have like one of everything or something like that. And then horrible, don't buy is at the very bottom, because there are some sets that are just too bad to buy. You shouldn't be buying them, in my personal opinion. And I don't know why Lego's taking up slots with it. With that being said, let's get into the tier list. This is my own personal opinion. Let's get into it, starting with the Luke Skywalker Brickhead. Yeah, this is like a gift situation. If you're a Brickhead guy, it's probably worth buying on sale. I mean, it's probably worth buying full price, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's probably worth buying full price if you're a Brickhead guy. I've bought the Commander Cody and the Tusken Raider Brickhead, as well as the Revenge of the Sith set, for Brickheads. They're pretty alright. They're nothing special, but they're a nice little, like, desk accessory. Maybe you're in school, maybe, like, you're out and about, maybe, you don't really have a lot of desk space. I think Brickheads are kind of worth it in that case. I don't think there's something like you need to buy before it retires or something. Actually, yeah, we'll leave it like this. But I do think they're niche. They're cool. They're aight. They're aight. They pass with a 60 on the test. You know what I mean? They're all right. But yeah, it's just a Brickhead at the end of the day. You don't get a fig. It's minus aura points in my opinion. But yeah, we move on. Gingerbread AT-AT. There's a good argument this is set of the year, and now that I'm looking at the list, ooh, is it set of the year? Ooh, is it set of the year? No, I've got something else. Yeah, I think the gingerbread 8 AT-AT is a great buy. It's sold out. I think it's always on back order. Currently in my location where I'm at, it's a great set. It looks great. Gingerbread. Um, Darth Vader's sick. Obviously, it's a holiday season, so it's getting a bias there. Even outside the holiday season, I think it'd be sick to have it on display. Can't really see it too well, I'm guessing, because of the video, but it's got a really nice custom, like, icing on the feet. That's insane. The fact that it has interior is so much aura, and it's pretty cheap for the piece count. It's like, I'm Canadian, it's like 60 bucks Canadian, and it's got like 500 and something pieces. Really good piece count. I mean, it kind of piece farms with the lights, to be fair, but I mean, it is cool at the end of the day. The Darth Vader can also be modified with the CMF gingerbread man. I've seen a few people do that. Worth it. Looks cool. Great. Great. It's a great set. Yeah, it's a great set. We move on to the U-Wing. Some might say the shrunken U-Wing, because I think there was a U-Wing a while ago during the Rogue One era. This is the Andor version of the U-Wing. I think it's a great set, to be honest with you. I think it's a great set. You know, I've seen a lot of people kind of dog on it, and I have it just in the background. Just it's kind of there. You can kind of see it on the thing. It's right next to the. Yeah, it's like right. It's right there, kind of facing forward. Not really on a great display right now, but I think it's a great set. Mainly because it's the cheapest way to get a K2SO. I don't think there's a cheaper set to get a K2SO. And you get Dedra Meero. Dedra Meero might be my favorite female in Star Wars. Yeah, maybe. She's up there. She's on a top 3, top 5 list for sure. Yeah, Dedra Meero's sick. Andor, obviously, great fig. And then it comes with the officer. And I think the officer outfit's really, really cool. On top of that, the build's really good. Only problem is that it's a panel that flips down and not like the opening side doors, like it's supposed to be. Engines, I think, look sleek. They look fine. Cockpit, we love a good cockpit. Wish the fig could sit up a little bit better. I think it's a great set. I think it's 90 Canadian, so what is that, like 70, 60 USD? It's not bad, you know? Under 100 bucks, you'll probably find it on sale. I think on Amazon it's like permanently 60 bucks Canadian. So I mean for 60 bucks Canadian, basically all the time, I don't know why you'd go to the Lego store when Amazon has it literally like what is that, 33% off? I mean, it's a great set. I've seen this get as low as like $48. Dude, the U-Wing is really good for that price. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a great buy. I think the figs are good. I think the set's good. And if you're making like a Rebel army, U-Wing's one of the best like Rebel ships in my opinion. We move on to, let's do the Juggernaut. Yeah, this is gonna be no surprise. If you know Lego Ball, you know Lego Ball. Nobody likes this Juggernaut. If you do like this Juggernaut, I'm just gonna go on a whim and say you don't own the previous ones. I, as a young little Lego builder, I'll say, I did not own a Lego Juggernaut. I never owned one. I think my most expensive set that I ever owned was the Rogue Shadow, which I think is like, which is right there. Yeah. So I owned the Rogue Shadow as a kid. I never owned one of the Juggernauts. I would rather have any of the Juggernauts over this one, not even close. A lot of people shit on the stability of it because you can't pick it up by like the hull or whatever it would be called here. I don't care about that. Dude, the set just sucks. It's like 800 pieces for 200 Canadian. I think it's 150, 160 American. Dude, that's shit. That's so bad. The wheels should have been molded. They shouldn't have been brick built. The only benefit to having these brick built wheels is that you can get a pretty cool alt build of like the Senate with like the seats. Other than that, the wheels are ass. They're so cheeks. The figs are good. Kiadi Mundi a little basic. I think can we just implement a rule all Jedi and sets above $100 come with a cape. Can we just make that a rule? Dude, I just want more capes on my Jedi. Maybe that's just a me thing, but dude, I'm sick of just getting these plain brown robes. Like I want like the cape, I want like a hood on them. I want, I want some cool stuff, Fuck. Anyways, I do think that the figs are all right. It comes with what? Commander Bakara and the Galactic Marines. They're all right. I don't think anyone's army building them really, like the nichest of niche. Or I think I saw Coconut Bricks. I think that guy has aura. That guy's mocks are insane. But there's a YouTuber, Coconut Bricks. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Sick ass mock builder, and I think he's used a few custom Galactic Marines in the past. Other than him, I don't think I've seen a single mock. I look at mocks from time to time in my pastime. I don't think anyone really uses Galactic Marines for that much. There should have been a UT-AT as well. There's just so much dog shit about this, and the price makes it like it prices out a lot of people. On top of it not being worth it. If this was like 120 Canadian, or like 120 Canadian, so like what would like 80 90 American, I think that'd be like 90 American. I think that's worth it. I think it'd be like just barely worth it. You get a cool commander, cool Jedi, and an all right sort of 4+ juggernaut. But man, it's just so small. It's shit looking. Or I guess it doesn't look shit. Like, it looks presentable if you have it, but having this on display or any other Juggernaut from like 10 years ago, I'm taking the other Juggernauts. Just being honest. So in my opinion, I think it's a horrible buy. Don't buy it. Wait for it to go on a hefty sale, and if you don't, they will release a better Juggernaut than that. Maybe it'll take 5 years. They can't release a Juggernaut worse than that, unless it's a fucking microfighter. We move on to the Ahsoka Jedi Interceptor. I think I'm getting that set correct. I'm going to say it's a great buy. I'm going to say it's not better than the U-Wing. Mainly because the set is good. It is overpriced. It's like 55, 60 Canadian, something like that. Horrible pricing. But you do get a movable leg Ahsoka, and you get an Anakin. If this didn't come with the Anakin, honestly, I'd probably put it in like maybe on sale. But because it comes with an Anakin, and the set's like pretty good, stickers are a little annoying. This one I do own. I don't remember. Oh, I think it's on display with the rest of my Interceptors right next to the Coruscant Guard gunship. I think it's that one right there. I do think this set's actually like pretty good. Fits pretty well. Great scaling. Comes with the R2, whatever that R2 unit is. I can't remember the name. But yeah, comes with that. Great figs. Great build. Pricing is a little high. But before it goes away, I would recommend getting it, even if it is full price. Full price a little steep, but I think it's still worth it. We move on. Let's get the Yoda and Param buildable Yoda. I mean, if you're like a Mandalorian, I'll be honest, I'm not really a Mandalorian guy after watching Andor. I think Andor is just the far better show. Maybe that's just my opinion. But I'm not really a Mandalorian guy. Well, I am. I do like I like Mandalore. I don't like the Mandalorian, but I like Mandalorians. It's a weird thing for us Star Wars folk, but yeah. I think if you're looking for a buildable Grogu for a display or something, I think this would be cool on display. I think it's plus Huz points. I think you could get the Huz with this. But I do think it's not really worth it at a full price. I think it'll just be on sale a lot, especially around the Mandalorian Grogu movie coming out next year in 2026. I mean, you might as well just wait for a good sale. We move on to the Jango Fett helmet. Set of the... No, I'm kidding. Helmet series are tough. I'm not really a helmet guy. I thought it was cool when I was first getting back into collecting in 2024. I'm now not in the these are cool. I'm kind of all out on these helmets. I'm not really into them at all. If you are a helmet collector guy, I mean, it's probably worth it, to be honest. Even off a sale, it's probably worth it, you know? They're not that expensive. They're like 50, 60 Canadian, I think. I could be wrong on that pricing. I haven't looked at the helmet prices in a while, but I think they're all right. I think they're, if you have helmets, it's probably cool to have the Jango Fett. If you don't have helmets, only reason you're really getting it is maybe with the UCS set or maybe the play set, but I mean, yeah, you could probably get the play set and make it work. But yeah, it's alright. Jango Fett helmet, it's alright. I think there's stickers on it. Oh yeah, I think that top part stickers, isn't it? Yeah, we're gonna move that down. It's probably more like it's niche. I think it's less niche than the Baby Yoda. Yeah, I'd get it if you're like a helmet guy on sale before it retires. But I'm not really. I don't really think I'm not gonna advocate for people to go out and buy it if that makes sense. We move on to the Night Trooper Battle Pack. Okay. And in my opinion, I think it's a great buy. I know the build looks like an ice cream sandwich. However, the figs are just too good. The figs are too elite. I would prefer if it was two stormtroopers with the white head instead of the gray head. Unfortunately, they just ended up doing the gray head. I wish the gray head one came with the duel on Peridia. I think that would have been way more fitting. And then the Death Troopers are just too cool. I own one of these. It's a great buy. I would recommend it before it retires. It's like, I think this is where they increase the price. I think it might be like 25 American, but it's like 25 Canadian. So us Canadians, hey, we get discounts, but I think it's still worth it. I think it's still a good set, especially if you're like a big Ahsoka guy. A lot of people are, I think are a lot higher on Ahsoka now, especially because season 2 is just around the corner. I'd buy one of these. They'll probably never do them ever again. That's another reason I'd say it's a great buy. They're never gonna do them again. I don't see them ever doing a battle pack for Night Troopers, including two Death Troopers with like that zombie fight effect, and all of them have zombie heads. I just think it's an elite. Or I think two of them have zombie heads, two of them have black heads. I could be wrong there. But yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's an okay buy. Let's move on to the Darth Maul mech. Now, if you haven't been on the channel before and you haven't watched any of my Star Wars videos, I'm a big Darth Maul guy. And you know what? I'm going to put my biases aside, and maybe this will still seem biased. I think it's still worth a buy. I think the mech's cool. I'm not like a huge mech guy, but I think the mech's cool. It's aight. I actually have it displayed like right there. I think it's all right for a mech. It comes with a little probe droid, and at the end of the day, you're probably finding it on sale for like 25% off. And at that point it's like what, $15 Canadian, probably like $12 American or something like that. I mean, a probe droid Darth Maul with a big Darth Maul saber, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. The pupils being removed pissed me off to no end. I really do think it's lost a lot of aura there. In a way, you can kind of make it seem like it's a Rebels Maul now without pupils. I think that might be the play with no pupils Maul, because with pupils, it looks really cool. You can use it as the Clone Wars one. But I think without the pupils, you can kind of use it as that like Rebels sort of kidified Darth Maul. I think it's an easy way to get a Clone Wars like torso and legs and maybe just use an old Maul head. Or you can just use the what's it called? Use it as like a Rebels Maul if you're a Rebels guy. I'm not, but I know people are. So I think that would be the play with that Darth Maul. I think it's all right overall, but I think it's a good cheap way to get a Maul. You know, there's not really any Mauls right now. I'm assuming there's gonna be a Maul. I think the Sith Infiltrator actually retires at the end of this year, so this might be the only way to get a Darth Maul until the Shadow Lord show, which I'm going to be very interested in. But I think right now it's all right. You know, I think it's a good way to get a Maul, good way to get like that sort of Maul printed piece there that you can use for, you know, maybe a Maul type of mock, you know, Dathomirian symbols for a mock, something like that. I think this is going to be very versatile. And when we're looking at just mechs, I think the Maul mech, in my opinion, is the best mech, but that's just because I like Darth Maul. Maybe that's just a bias. But yeah, I'm going to put it in worth a buy. I think it's worth a buy just to get a Maul, to get ready for the Shadow Lord show. We move on. Arc 170 time. I own this. I bought it full price. It goes on sale a lot. I'm gonna say it's worth a buy. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the top of worth a buy. I think it's good. I think it's a good Arc 170. This is one of those things where some of the later ones have the same effect. When you see it, when you see the box art, and when you see like a review of it, you're like, wow, this is tiny. But when you actually have it, unless you're like 6'5", it's not that small, and they're pretty sizable. I even have the old windshield screens. I think I gotta DM Lego and get them to fucking send me a new windshield piece. But yeah, I still have mine on display above my head there. I think they're sick. The wings opening up, sick. I think it's a great set. You get three great pilots and the astromech. I think overall it's a great buy. Ooh. No, it's worth a buy. Not a great buy. Because the older one does have presence, and that's something it's missing when you compare it to the older one. It's missing that sort of big presence. I think the guns are too short. That's one complaint I hear a lot. But overall, I think it's still good. Like, if you were making a Order 66 mock or something, having one of these would be essential. And because it's, like, almost smaller, it's better to display in the mock. But if you're looking for display, and you're a display guy, you're probably wanting the old one just because of presence and just how big the wings are and everything. So I get it. I'm going to put it in worth a buy. I think it's worth buying before it retires, mainly because of the figs, but the build is also a nice little touch. Plus, you can do some... I've seen some interesting alt builds here, you know? You get some nice Z95 headhunters. I've seen them. But yeah, we move on. Star Wars logo. I'm going to put worth a buy. I'm going to put it at the very bottom. I think it's worth buying just for display purposes and just to like really this is something you can buy and you're not even a Lego guy and like you can get away with it. Should have came with a fig, doesn't. Price I was really iffy with when I first saw it back in, when were the leaks, like May? Or it might have dropped May. Yeah, back whenever this came out earlier in 2025. I was not okay with this. I was like, damn, this looks like shit and it's overpriced. Fuck this. I've seen it in person though. Well, I haven't seen it in person. I've seen it in videos and it looks like what it's supposed to do, and it's supposed to just showcase you are a Star Wars fan. Yeah, it's a nice piece, you know? You don't have to have any brickheads, you don't have to have anything else to really be a part of the Star Wars logo gang. You can kind of just get the Star Wars logo gang, you know? So, I think it's worth it before it retires. I might get it before it retires, but I'm not really holding my breath on it. Um, it does go on sale sometimes in my area, but yeah. Maybe it's gonna be like ×2, ×4 points or something during next May. That might be when to get it, but yeah, it's all right. We move on to Kylo Ren's helmet. This is not worth buying. It's horrible. It looks ugly in my opinion. Yes, I did watch the sequels. Whew, what a rough watch those were. Jesus. Woo! Those took years off my life, I'm not gonna lie. But especially that last one. Episode 9 is one of the worst films I've ever seen. But Kylo Ren's mask is dog shit. The buildable helmets are already niche, and on top of that, you're looking at sequels fans even more niche. And then on top of that, you're looking for sequels fans who really like Kylo Ren. Little bit, like, not as niche as, like, a fucking old Leia or, like, an old Luke fan. But, you know, Kylo Ren's, like, one of the more liked characters, I guess, from the sequels. But, yeah, I don't see the vision here. I get it. No stickers. That's a plus. If this was stickers or whatever, it'd still be here. Um, why the fuck are you getting Kylo Ren's helmet in Big 2025? Is anyone's guess. I I don't think you should buy it. I'm gonna advocate and say you should not buy it. Go on protests, make them stop doing sequel stuff. But yeah, we move on. Let's just get this out of the way. The Batship, aka Kylo Ren shuttle. If you are like a midi scale type of person, I don't even see why you would want this. It's overpriced as shit. It's like, what is it, like 70? Is it 70 USD? No way it's 70 USD. I actually gotta look now. There's no way this is 70 USD, right? But yeah, while this loads, hold up. Kylo Ren. Holy shit, it's 90 Canadian for 380 pieces. Yeah, this is a Bricklink type of set where I think you could just part it out and you would be better off getting it. It doesn't come with the fig. There's no reason to buy the set. You can just part it out, make your own version, maybe even make one with movable wings. This is... I would never buy this. Ever. Not in a million years I'd buy this set. It looks like a Lego Batman set. It doesn't even look like a Star Wars set in my opinion. Yeah, it's shit. We move on. Let's do another helmet. AT-AT Pilot. I think it is better than the Jango Fett helmet. And if you're a helmet guy, just wait for a sale. There's not really a reason not to. Or like a ×2, ×4 points on Lego. It's alright. It pops a little bit. It's gray, but it has like the red accents that make it pop a little bit. I think it's alright. I don't know if it's worth buying out of the blue, like for your first helmet. But if you own like an AT-AT or like you could probably gingerbreadify this helmet and display it with the gingerbread AT-AT. That would probably look sick, but I don't think it's that worth it. If it's on sale and like you're looking to get into helmets, it's probably worth a buy. But I mean, only if it's on sale, I'd say. Helmets are still a rough one just because there's no fig. But yeah, it looks alright. It looks pretty good. It looks really good for like the helmet thing. Yeah, we move on to buildable Ewok. I think it's wicked. Yeah, I'm not buying this. I don't get it. There's some buildable characters I understand. Chewbacca might look terrifying in the eyes, but I get it if someone buys it. You know, maybe you're just a Chewbacca fan. Maybe you're like a really, really big episode 4, 5, 6 type of guy. I get it. Buildable Ewok is like one of the last characters I would have predicted to do a buildable sort of series. And it literally looks like it's about to piss its pants. Like the way its legs are just so tied up, it looks like it's doing the pee dance. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. You get a Wicket, I guess, but I would have preferred literally like any other buildable, like a buildable droid I would have preferred, a buildable character that's not Wicket I would have preferred, not from the sequels. Like they could have done a fucking, what are those things called? Why am I blanking on them? Gamorrean Guard. A buildable Gamorrean Guard I think would have been a cooler idea. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, I don't know. Wicked just I don't see anyone really buying this. It doesn't really look like it. It might have a lot of pop on the shelf, to be fair. I haven't bought it personally. I haven't seen it in person. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's for me. Maybe that's just a bias, but I would not recommend buying this out of the buildable characters. It would be like last on the list. We move on to the Acclamator mini scale. I think even if you're not getting a MIDI scale sort of collection, I think the Acclimator MIDI scale is actually worth a buy, mainly because they will never do another Acclimator. And I think even having this and keeping it in the box, just for like display purposes, I think would be sick. Now the box is a little bland because of the black background for MIDI scales, but in my opinion, they're never going to do an Acclimator again. I would be shocked if they ever did a playset Acclimator. This might be the only way to have an official Acclimator. And I think it looks really good for like a MIDI scale Acclimator. And if you don't know what they are, they're basically just mini. They're mini Venators pretty much. But they're a lot chunkier. But yeah, I think it's sick looking. I might pick up one before it goes away. Maybe on sale I'll pick up one. I'll put it at the top of on sale. Because I feel like full price a little rough. I think it's 60 Canadian, I want to say. But yeah. We move on to the playset Jango Fett Starship, I think is what it's called. I'm going to be buying this when it goes on sale, but that's just mainly because prices are too high. You know, got to be smart about it, but it is a great buy in my opinion. I think even full price it's a good buy. Like if you're to get one set of the year, or if you're to get like your kid, your son, or something like that, a Lego set in 2025, I'd get him this one. It's sick. It's a great miniature version of Jango Fett Starship. It works really, really well. Like by itself, because it comes with Jango Fett and the Boba Fett. The Boba Fett's an ugly fig, but the Jango Fett's pretty cool. Just missing arm printing pretty much. And then you have the Lama Su fig that I want to say it's Lama Su. Might be getting that wrong, but yeah, it comes with the Lama Su fig. That fig will never be remade. I highly doubt it. And yeah, it's just a great way to get the fig. It's a low price point, and it's a great ship. And it's one of the best uses of the stud shooters too. This image doesn't show it, but in my opinion, the stud shooters actually make it look a lot more complete. I think the barrels are supposed to be longer for the actual like ship in universe, but yeah. We move on to the Home One. Now, MIDI scale Home One, not a big fan. Looks pretty chunky. It's not bad though for a MIDI scale. For a MIDI scale, it actually looks pretty accurate. I think this one also has like the most Easter eggs or something. It's an alright one if you're a MIDI scale guy. I'm not. I'm going to put it right behind the Acclimator. I think the Acclimator is a little bit better. But I do think the Home One, I just wish it was a play scale set, to be honest with you. I'm a play scale guy. I really wish the Home One came out as like a play scale set instead of a MIDI scale. Just no fig kills me, man. And there's a little vent piece here for figs. Maybe it was originally planned. Maybe the series was originally planned to have figs and they just removed it for price. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. Regardless, I do think it's not a bad set. It's just, I'd wait for a sale. I think it's pretty okay for the price, like base. But if you're in that niche sort of like MIDI scale collector, I'd get it when it goes on sale. Probably cop it like instantly when it goes on sale next year, because I imagine it's gonna retire at the end of 2026. But yeah, we move on to the 327th Trooper Battle Pack. I think it's the 327th Trooper. I could be wrong. This is buy it on sale. It's on sale all the time. It's a great set to buy on sale. I don't like a lot of things about the set. The price is horrendous for what you get. It's like 45 bucks. That might be American too. I think it's 45 American or something. It's an insane price. For just 3 super battle droids and 4 like troopers. I think the troopers are pretty good. If they came with like a waist cape, I think they have printed ones. If they came with a regular waist cape, might have actually been worth the price. The spider droid is cool, The 3 super battle droids are pretty lame. If they came with like a rocket arm one or like 3 regular battle droids, like it just needed more and it would have been worth it. If it is on sale though, I do think it's worth it. When it's on sale, you can probably get it for the base price of the previous battle pack. I got a bunch of them. The one that came with the 3 regs and the Phase 2 Coruscant Guard. That one's sick. I love that battle pack. This is basically a worse version for a higher price. That ATRT also looks like shit in my opinion. Now that I've seen like reviews of it, the ATRT looks like ass. And not just because it's too big. I think if you can find an alt build for it or make your own custom ATRT, you can make the set look a little bit more presentable. But yeah, that ATRT, it pops because it's big, but it pops for the wrong reason because it's not good looking, in my opinion. But I do think it's worth it because of the 327 Trooper. And that's mainly because of this set, the MTT. Now, me personally, this is going to be a case where I wait for it on sale. Ain't money bags. I ain't got cash like that. But I think it's a great buy. I think it's a really good set. I don't think they'll ever do a Clone Wars style, and I've seen the mod where you can add 2 racks. So if you're a modding guy, this has everything you could probably want. And it's got interior, and it got Aayla Secura. I don't think it's like a direct one-to-one improvement from the old one, but it's a good-looking Aayla Secura. And you get Commander Bly, and you get Gunmetal Gray Commando droids. There's a lot to love about this. If the MTT itself was bigger, I would be all over this set. Because it's only 1 rack, I'm not going to put it in set of the year. If this genuinely had 2 racks and was bigger, just a bigger MTT, it'd be set of the year in my opinion. But the price hurts it. The size of the MTT hurts it. It's still really good. If you're a mock guy, I think it's still great to have. I do kind of wish it came with more like B1s or more Gunmetal Gray Commando droids. Like having like 4 of them, I think would be sick. I think it only comes with 2. But yeah, I think it's a great set. And I think it's a great buy. Even full price, I know it's steep. Just having one of them alone, though, to get the Commander Bly. Another character they'll probably never make again, Commander Bly. Especially Phase 2. I don't think they'll ever do a Phase 2 Commander Bly again. But, yeah, we move on to the buildable droid and stab. I actually think this one's worth a buy. I'm not really a buildable guy, but I do have the R2-D2, but that's mainly because it came with the Darth Malak. That fig looks amazing. I'm not even an Old Republic guy, but that Darth Malak fig looks insane. The buildable B1 with stab, I think, is really fucking good. The stab is pretty much perfect at the scale it's at. And the B1 battle droid is very poseable and very cool. The price is kind of steep, but the more I see it, the more I'm like, you know what? The price ain't that bad. It's big. It's a stab. In a way, it's a UCS stab, which kind of doesn't sound that tantalizing. But it's a, $100 UCS stab. Not that bad. Buildable B1 is cool just for, like, the poses you can do and really get wacky with the way you can display it. Yeah, I think it's worth a buy. I think it's worth it even at full price. We move on. The UCS Jango Fett Starship, aka UCS Slave 1. I think it is kind of worth it, isn't it? I'll put the stab higher. I'll put the stab here. Yeah. It's worth it. But I'll be honest, man. I'm not like I don't own a UCS set. I'll say that. I don't own a single UCS set. I've still yet to purchase one. They're pretty pricey. But Jango Fett Starship does look cool and is interesting. It's like 400 Canadian, something like that. 379, something like that. But I don't think it's like you need it. You know what I mean? I can't see a lot of people needing a Jango Fett Starship. This is kind of one of the ones where unless you previously have like Boba Fett Slave 1, you don't really need to buy the Jango Fett Slave 1. And because you missed out on the Boba Fett Slave 1, you, again, don't really need to buy this one because you don't have the other piece, basically. You know? I think displaying this alone is fine, and you can probably do it with the gifts with purchase. I actually forgot to add the gifts with purchase. Shit, I forgot to do that. But yeah, I do think, what's it called? I think the Jango Fett Slave 1 UCS set is pretty good. I don't think it's I must buy before it goes retired. It'll probably be around for another couple years as well. Maybe I'll put it here. If it goes on a big sale, like a times 4 points or something, it might be worth it. I just don't see why you would buy it full price. You know? I really, really don't see why you would buy it full price. Not that it's not worth it at full price, but it's just like it's kind of niche in the collection, you know? And because it's so big, it takes up a lot of room and you could use that room for other things. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in like top of maybe on sale. Get the Slave one, but I wouldn't be pressured, especially if you're missing the Boba Fett one. Maybe they do a remake of the Boba Fett one down the road. I don't see it because the Boba Fett content's kind of gone. Maybe for an anniversary thing for like Return of the Jedi. Yeah, that's the only reason why I think they do it personally. Alrighty, so moving on to the let's do buildable Chopper. If you're a Rebels guy slash Ahsoka guy, you probably love Chopper. I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't see a reason to buy the buildable Chopper. I don't. I really don't. If you're looking for the minifig Chopper, just get the Ghost. It's what, like $50 more than the buildable Chopper, maybe even less than that. I think the Ghost retires at the end of the year, so that might be the reasoning. If you are in 2026, this is probably a get on sale deep discount. But outside of that, and because Ahsoka Season 2 is coming out, I'm assuming they're going to do another Ahsoka set, and it's probably going to feature Chopper. Dude, I'm going to put it in the don't buy. I don't see why you would buy the buildable Chopper. You get a Chopper minifig that is... Dude, it's not that good. I don't know. I'm not a Chopper guy. Like, maybe I'm biased. I'm not a buildable Chopper guy. I'm not like a Chopper fan. I found Chopper to be annoying in Rebels, and in Ahsoka, I just really didn't think he had any presence. If genuinely, if this was buildable Huyang, I'd be taking that all day over a buildable Chopper. Maybe I'm just biased, but I'm not really that into Chopper. I think there's better Astromechs, R2D2, the one that comes in the Death Star with the see-through head. Yeah, there's a lot of like droids I would take over Chopper, and buildable characters. Unless, like, you have all of them and you need all of them, I don't see a reason to get Chopper. Just being honest. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. We're going to move on here to the Hot Rod Snowspeeder from Rebuild the Galaxy. I did watch the show. I think it's a great show. I think it's one of the best Star Wars shows. Top 5? Maybe top 5. I might actually put this top 5. Now the Hot Rod Speeder kind of only suffers from the price tag. I think it's sick outside of the price tag issues. You get a really cool Darth Dev. You get a really cool Sig Griebling. You get a really cool Darth Plagueis looking minifig. Can't remember his name. Been a while since I watched the show, but the Hot Rod Speeder is a little 4+ looking. With that like the speeder bike I'm talking about, not the snow speeder. But the feature of the speeder being in the actual like snow speeder, I think is cool, and that should be a thing for like a real snow speeder. I think the stickers kind of bring it down because the stickers are going to be a pain in the ass to put on. Because I think every flame is like a sticker on the set. I'm going to say it's worth a buy, though. If you're a Rebuild the Galaxy guy, you got to get it. If you're not a Rebuild the Galaxy guy, I still think it's worth getting. Maybe not for the build, but this might be a case for the figs. Dude, the figs are pretty elite. The SIG you could use as just like a regular like Tatooine civilian, and the Sev you could use as like a Star Killer slash like other Sith type of character, even like from Old Republic or something. You know, you can use the torsos, you can take out that arm, put a skin color one, and you have a fucking Star Killer. You could swap out the head and have something else there. You could have the same thing with the Sig. And then the other minifig that comes with the 2 purple lightsabers, really cool. You could have that be Darth Plagueis. You could genuinely just like role play him as Darth Plagueis, put him in mocks as Darth Plagueis. That would probably work, you know, the Duros fig. But yeah, I think it's worth a buy. I think it'll be worth a buy. I think I'm definitely going to be picking it up before it retires. We move on. Let's go to the UCS ATST. I think I got that right. Yeah, I think it's the ATST. This I considered being my first UCS set. It is a little overpriced, like slightly. I think I'd buy it on sale. I think I'll eventually buy it on sale. It comes with a really good ATST pilot, and it's like a really good size. I think it's a little bit bigger than minifig scale. That kind of knocks it, because with something like this, you want minifig scale. I'm really not a fan of like that UCS land speeder and the UCS like A-wings and stuff. I'm not a fan of anything where the figs don't look right in. Even the UCS gunship, maybe it's a hot take. I actually think that isn't that good looking. I think for presents maybe, but dude, I gotta have my minifigs look nice to the set, you know? So I think I might pick it up for display purposes. It's pretty big. ATST, it's alright. I think it's worth it on sale. I would not recommend it as like a first UCS set. Actually, you know what? I would recommend it as a first UCS set. It's a nice cheap way to get into UCS. You know, I think it's like $200 or something like that. So it's not like crazy expensive. I think it's worth it. We move on to buildable K2SO. This is really good. I think it's one of the best buildable characters. I think it's only slightly worse. It's only worse than the U-Wing because it's a more expensive K2SO. But as a buildable character, you can't see the eyes or anything. I actually think it's one of the best buildable characters. Got really good postable arms. K2SO is one of my favorite droids. Maybe I'm biased. I think he was amazing in Andor. I think he was great in Rogue One. Yeah, I think buildable K2SO is one of the best buildable characters there is. I get that you can't take him off his stand. I think that's the whole thing with him. Like, he kind of connects with the stand, and you can't really move his feet. But I think that's fine. I think he looks great. I think he's big, presentable. And even though he's like pretty much all black, he like pops, you know, if you have him in your room. And I think if you're looking for a cheap way to fill like a gap in your shelf or something, you get a buildable K2SO. He's a 6 droid. Yeah, I think it's plus aura points. He's never had a bad media that he's been in, I think. So I think that's reason enough to get him. We move on. Let's go with the V19 Torrent. And you know what? I think this is one of the best sets of the year. I bought it, and then I also got one for my birthday. A little bit of a mix-up that happened there. However, now that I own 2 of them, I like it even more because they're so fucking sick. Just aside from the figs, the build itself looks like shit when you see, like, someone review it, or you see the box. You're like, wow, that build looks like ass. Why do the wings look so chunky? Why do the guns look so weird? And the back fin, I'm pretty sure in universe is supposed to be bigger than the other fins. But regardless, I could be wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong there. Regardless, engines are pretty long. When you get it in hand, this thing is sick. The way the wings fold down, I know it's not like to the same degree as the old one, but because it's so much chunkier, you can swoosh that thing better. The movable wings are so much more posable. Oh man, it's so good. I think I have mine displayed currently like with the wings open. Actually, no, I have it closed right now. I've had it before where the wings were open and you can display it like that. You don't need a display stand for this thing. It's great. Fantastic ship. Now for the figs, they're amazing. The Obi-Wan might be fig of the year. Only gets beat out by one fig in my personal opinion. But I genuinely think the Obi-Wan arm printing, the Clone Wars style, is amazing. I think the Ventress is a great fig, and I think the Pilot having the updated helmet is amazing, though it should have had a deeper print on the helmet. I think it's still a great, great figurine. We move on to the UCS Death Star. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. I think it is extremely overpriced. When I look at this set, 1,000 USD, I think it's like worth 600 USD. I think it's worth like 750, like 750 the latest, okay? And I get the piece count, whatever. I imagine there's a lot of piece farming in this, but regardless of like the piece count stuff, this does not look like $1,000 Death Star. I'm warming up to it a little bit because it looks like an ant farm. I just don't think it looks that good. The GWP for this thing, I also forgot to add to this list, and I won't be because it's just horrible. Don't ever buy that. Seriously. Actually, I'll probably add it to the list. But regardless, yeah, the Death Star is... This would have to be on a deep discount for me to even think about purchasing. It's rough, man. I get it, it's big. I get it, it's got presents. I get all that. It's still expensive as fuck. Unless, like, you're the highest collector, there's not a reason, in my opinion, to, like, buy this Lego Death Star. Yeah. I'm a big sort of, MBS, I guess, would be the sort of thing. Ewok Village, Cantina. I'm kicking myself in the ass for never getting that Cantina when I saw it before it retired. Yeah, I'm like big on like sceneries and like places and like if Cloud City were to ever be remade, I'd probably get the Cloud City set, even though I think the last one wasn't too well received. I'd be buying those. But the Death Star is just not. I get it, it's a ship, but like it is more of a place than a ship. Dude, I really don't like the look of it, man. I don't know, maybe it's just me. The backside's horrendous, but you're not really displaying the backside. I'm gonna put it here, in my opinion. Maybe I'm gonna get flack for it, but I'm not like a huge Death Star guy, I guess. I don't know. Genuinely, I was hoping it was a ball because I missed out on the other Death Stars as a kid. I thought the ball was Aura. You could put it on like a fucking like motor or whatever and have it like turn. I was cooking up a storm in my head for how that Death Star was gonna look. But yeah, I think it's lost its aura in my opinion. I don't think it's that cool. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. We move on to the Death Star GWP. This is horrible. Don't ever buy this on the aftermarket. And if you're getting the Death Star, I don't even think it's such a bad set. You get 2 stormtroopers and a regular TIE fighter pilot. That's it. That's all you get. The TIE fighter itself looks like shit. The hangar thing you could just build with your own pieces. It looks like shit. It really does look like shit. This might be one of the worst sets I've ever seen. And I've seen the 4+ sets. Dude, this might be the worst set I've ever seen. If it only came with like a TIE fighter, it'll be undisputed. Or the TIE fighter pilot, it would have been undisputed. Holy dog shit. Actually, I just remembered that the Death Star comes with the Beach Trooper. Nah. Nah, I'm saying Nintendo's down. Fuck it. But yeah, this TIE fighter is horrendous. We move on. Polybag for the Millennium Falcon. Bad. But I mean, you're typically getting this. You probably got it as a GWP. You probably didn't like actually buy it, so you got it for free. Even for free, it's like, it's whatever. It's something to build. But yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way and buy this polybag. We move on to the Kamino Training Facility. There's a good argument this is set of the year, in my opinion. We'll never get these troopers again, in my opinion. I don't think we'll ever get them. The ship is all right. If you were, this is the way I look at it. If you were a parent and you had a kid and you bought the GW, like you bought enough to get a GWP during, I think, May. Like I think you had to spend $200. If you spent that money and you got this, like let's say you got the Ghost, let's say you got the Imperial Star Destroyer, let's say you got any of those, you could give this to your kid and your kid would be on cloud 9. I think this is a sick set to get for any kid watching the Clone Wars. I personally think that this set, well, you can't really buy it because it's GWP. But if you could buy it, it'd be overpriced. This is a tough one. I put it at the bottom of here. I think it's worth, like, if it ever came back up for GWP, I would get it. Because it's an aftermarket buy, I wouldn't even bother getting it, but when we're looking at, like, could you get this? Like, if they did another GWP, I would put it at a great get, pretty much. A great buy. You know, you get it for free. You do have to spend the 200 schmeckles, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Because it's just, you get 3 elite clone troopers that we'll never get, the training facility ones. You get a decent, like, play sort of turret build with a ship that you can use for Kaminoans. Scratch that because you probably can't fit a Kaminoan in it. But yeah, I think it's sick. I think it's pretty good. We move on. Set of the year, in my opinion, is the Microfighter for Plo Koon. Dude, this Plo Koon is this head mold, and I know when you're seeing the head mold online, I'm gonna tell you this, it looks way goofier than when you actually own it. This is the one I use for my high testosterone level activities of putting in Lego sets. Dude, the head mold is perfect. They can't make the head mold any better. They literally can't. And then, you know, these arms, they're technically brown, and I added the cape. But regardless, I think it's the best fig Lego's made this year because it's perfect. You can't, there's literally nothing else you can do to change it to make it better. You can use it for, like, the Revenge of the Sith Plo Koon. I just added the brown cape. That's, like, a personal thing. And changed out the arms for the V19 Torrent Obi-Wan. But yeah, I think it's fig of the year. Or I think it's set of the year. For $15, you get Plo Koon in its best rendition ever. You don't have to buy the gunship. You don't have to buy the Starfighter from back in the day. You don't have to do anything like that. And you get his droid head. You get an added little droid head. Only thing that would have made the set better is that if you got Plo Koon's droid as well. But the droid head is almost as good as the droid because you can put the droid head on his starship. You know? If you were lucky enough to get one of these back in the day. I think there was another rendition, and that's what I did with my droid head. I put it on the Plo Koon Starfighter. A little bit of bias there, I guess, because I'm a Plo Koon guy. But, yeah, I think it's set of the year. I think I might be missing a 4+ set here. Don't care. 4+ sets. Couldn't care less. But these are the main sets that released this year. Including, I think that was the only polybags released this year. I could be wrong there, but at least in Canada, that's all we got, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, this is my tier list. That has been the video. If you made it to the end of the video, maybe comment down something you disagree with, your set of the year, something like that. And yeah, if you made it to the end, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.